bug market. Now it's stuck in my head.
Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is News Channel 21 at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. A very happy Friday to you all. It is the 7th day of October. Thanks so much for waking up with us this morning. I'm Samantha O'Connor, and I am joined by Mr. Bob Shaw. Let's get straight over to him for a check of your forecast. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Sam. Man, I just almost hate to even talk about a threat of showers with what Florida's going through.
Oh, yeah. Well, I also just hate you talking about a threat of showers at all.
Yeah, well,
just end it there.
Well, we'll get this out of here and we'll wind up with a very nice weekend.
Hey,
Is that
I like
right?
that. Just
all
in time for the weekend.
That's right. Good morning, everybody. We do have a threat of showers moving across Central Oregon right now, but it is not terribly strong. It'll stay with us through the morning hours. Here's how we're waking up. We are looking at mostly cloudy skies. If you look real close, a break in those clouds, you can see a hint of light out there on the horizon. Right now, pretty mild, actually. 54 degrees at the Bend Airport. A little on the breezy side. Southwesterly wind at 17 miles an hour. It's all part of this system that's making its way through the northwest this morning. Heaviest rain moving off through eastern Washington. We had some serious thunderstorm activity in the Portland area overnight. Now some of that is moved southward in the Willamette Valley, Corvallis area, and down through Salem getting some of that activity. Eugene will get some as well, and that's all part of what is going to swing into our area through the morning hours. Most of it gets wrung out in the mountains, so the threat of showers here is pretty mild. I'll have more on all of that here in a moment. Right now, back to Sam.
Bob, thanks. Hurricane Matthew, now a Category 3, is closing in on the Florida coast. The massive storm is packing sustained winds of 110 miles per hour, and there is real concern it could produce deadly storm surges up to 11 feet. Jay Gray is in Florida with the latest.
Moving along the Florida coast, Matthew is in many areas overwhelming.
We're already starting to see the impacts, and it's a monster.
Violent winds, sheets of rain, and a growing surf with the potential in some areas of a storm surge up to 11 feet.
I am begging you at this point to understand the seriousness of the storm. Those types of storm surges, that is not something you want to get caught up in.
Electricity has become a luxury for many in the strike zone. Tens of thousands have lost power, and that number's expected to grow. More than 11 million along the East Coast are currently under a hurricane warning. Airports across the region closed, businesses boarded up, and shelters filling up.
I've been in Florida all my life, so I know how bad it can get.
It's bad now and likely will get even worse. Emergency officials say the storm is an extreme threat to life and property and warn its impact will be devastating to catastrophic in some areas, with as many as 10 million possibly losing power for weeks. The extreme conditions in Florida, a warning now for those in Georgia, North and South Carolina, as Matthew continues to move along the East Coast. Jay Gray, NBC News, Daytona Beach.
And as Hurricane Matthew bears down on Florida, one area getting hit hard this morning is Brevard County. And for a look at the conditions, let's get out to reporter Matt Grant, who's in the thick of it.
I'm Matt Grant on the Orange County, Brevard County line. We're on the St. Johns River. Flood stage here is 2.8 feet. It's already near 2.5, and it's expected to reach a record high of 4.6 feet today, which means that some communities along the St. Johns River could experience some flooding, and that's something that officials are watching and very concerned about. Here, not too long ago, this was all lit up. We watched as the power went out, and right now the rain is picking up. The wind is definitely picking up. A couple minutes ago, I had to brace myself against one of these trees just to stand where I am right now. It's sort of fluctuating in intensity, but obviously for people who live around here, now is not a good time to be outdoors as the rain picks up and the wind picks up, and for the rest of the night into the early morning, this is only expected to get much worse. Back to you.
Matt, thank you. And in politics this morning, Hurricane Matthew doesn't seem to be having an impact on Sunday's presidential debate, though the candidates are talking about it. Tracy Potts reports.
Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate is in the path of Hurricane Matthew. Trump says he spoke to Florida's governor and his employees there.
Everyone in the path, you got to take care of yourself. You've got to get out of the area.
Trump spoke at a New Hampshire town hall that he insists it was not practice for Sunday's town hall debate. The debate commission says the event is on despite the storm. Trump's running mate predicts he'll win.
He speaks from his heart, he speaks from his mind, and the American people hear him loud and clear.
Hillary Clinton was spotted at a hotel near her home in New York. She's behind closed doors getting ready for Sunday, while Tim Kaine looks ahead to the final debate in Nevada.
The closing debate, the home stretch debate right here in Las Vegas is going to be very, very good. It's going to be very, very good.
But first, Sunday, which could create its own political damage shortly after Hurricane Matthew barrels ashore. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
5 minutes past the hour, and the wreckage of the commuter train that crashed in New Jersey last week was removed yesterday. The NTSB announced that the train had sped up and was going twice the 10-mile-per-hour speed limit just before it crashed into the terminal last Thursday. The NTSB also says the train's engineer hit the emergency brake less than a second before the train slammed into a bumping post at the end of the rail line, went airborne, and crashed into the station's waiting area. One woman was killed and more than 100 others were injured in the crash. Tense moments at a music concert in downtown Portland last night after someone fired off a gun at the Roseland Theater. Witnesses say the rap artist The Game was performing when a fight broke out and someone pulled out a gun and fired a shot. No one was hit and the bullet became lodged in the stage. The concert was canceled as police were called in to investigate. Eamon Bundy changed his tune late yesterday, in a Portland courtroom. The face of the occupation at the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge denied that he was the leader of the standoff over federal control of public lands. Attorney Ethan Knight pressed Bundy on this claim, referring back to an earlier testimony when he said he was, quote, sort of in charge. Bundy said he teaches correct principles and lets them themselves. Soon after, Bundy acknowledged receiving a $530,000 loan from the U.S. Small Business Administration to help his commercial vehicle maintenance business. He said it did not make him a hypocrite because he supports the federal government, just not the management of land within states. Governor Kate Brown told her Republican challenger, Dr. Bud Pierce, that she appreciated his apology for domestic violence remarks he made just last week. During a debate in Eugene, Governor Brown said Pierce took, quote, full responsibility and ownership for saying successful women aren't as susceptible to domestic abuse as those with less money. The comment came after the governor had revealed she was a domestic violence victim herself. 7 minutes past the hour, and coming up, we do have reaction for Central Oregon locals who are in Hurricane Matthew's path. But first, let's get a check of our local weather with Bob Shaw. Good morning, Bob.
Thank you, Sam. Chance of morning showers is going to taper off a little bit through the day. So up till about the noon hour or a little after, we'll live with that chance. And it'll leave us under mostly cloudy skies going into tonight. A fair day and a beautiful weekend to follow. We'll talk about that after the break. 7 minutes past the hour. Your local alert weather forecast is next.
Measure 97 would put a new state tax on sales of goods and services in Oregon. Promoters of the measure want us to think businesses won't pass on this tax to consumers, but that's ridiculous. The tax would increase every Oregon family's cost for food, gas, electricity, insurance, even medicine and healthcare. And it would hurt farm families even worse by making us pay more for farm supplies and equipment. Join farmers statewide and vote no on 97.
The campaign to defeat Measure 97 wants you to think it's made up of folks like me. The truth is, it's big corporations like Wells Fargo and Monsanto. They'll do anything to make more money, like spending millions to muddle the facts. You and I know if corporations could charge more, they would, but they would lose customers. Big corporations are trying to kill 97 because it'll cost them, but it'll fund better schools and healthcare. Measure 97 makes sense for Oregon.
From homeowners to home builders, interior design to exterior brilliance, Ben Lighting brings the beauty of Central Oregon to light. Step into our showroom to see why we're the perfect fit for any style or budget, and experience the Adorn collection of under-cabinet lighting, switches, and dimmers by Legrand. Ben Lighting. We light your life.
The Local Alert Weather Forecast is brought to you by Central Oregon Heating and Cooling. Now, Central Oregon's local alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Shaw.
Well, good Friday morning. It's 9 minutes past the hour, and the latest information coming out of Florida on Hurricane Matthew is only about an hour old, and we're looking at that hurricane right here from our satellite and radar imagery. It is now working its way up the Florida coastline. This northwesterly track is just exactly right along the coast. You can see the eye of the hurricane just now passing off to the east of Cape Canaveral, so that puts it about 60 to 75 miles south of Daytona Beach. Well, from there all the way up through Jacksonville and now into the southern coast of Georgia, high winds and rain just slamming straight into the coastline. A lot of folks still suffering as a result of this hurricane. As of an hour ago, it is packing winds of 120 miles an hour. It is one very broad storm. You can see even all the way over to Tampa, they're getting the effects of this. It pushes into the Gulf toward the north end of the peninsula. Very broad storm. This morning, Disney World shut down as a result of this storm, and everything along this coastline has been evacuated or is really locked down in the advance of this storm. Here in the northwest, we've had some minor storm activity move through. We had thunderstorms through the eastern portion of Washington, and this morning, actually overnight, we saw some of these thunderstorms push through the Portland area. This is our water vapor imagery here. It is pushing a lot of moisture through. This basically just tells us how much moisture is in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. It's a good indication of where you're most likely to see the rain, and you can see how that tracks through the Portland area and then through eastern Washington. We get a little bit more building out in the Pacific. Now, it's quite a ways out there, but about the middle of next week, that moisture will be working its way into our area. This is the immediate concern. We're looking at rain and thunderstorm activity through the valley. Cascades cutting off most of that, and that's how it's going to be through the day. You'll see the Cascades do a good job of blocking a lot of that. We'll get some spotty showers here through the morning hours, and then it breaks up through the course of the afternoon. So the latter portion of the day and overnight not looking too bad. Partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy tonight. Mid to upper 60s in the valley, mid to upper 60s here east of the Cascades. A lot of consistency in our thermometers right now. Winds this morning 10 to 15 miles an hour out of the south, and for the day ahead you'll be able to see some of those showers move through. Jefferson County will get a bunch. The Ochoco's will see some spotty rain. Eastern slope of the Cascades here in Deschutes County will get some, and then this starts to break up in the latter portions of the day. So all in all, apart from a bit of a breeze today, it's going to be a pretty mild day. Mid to upper 60s for highs, and we'll see mid 40s for overnight lows. For your extended forecast, well, get through today. We have about half this day is going to be kind of stormy, and then it gets really nice for the weekend. Mid to upper 70s, partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. And then Columbus Day, holiday for some, not bad at all. And the rest of next week, a cool down and drizzly conditions return by the middle of the week. Well, that's a look at your weather. It's 13 minutes past the hour. This is News Channel 21 at sunrise.
I've studied corporate behavior for years. Every time corporations are asked to pay more in taxes, their standard response is to threaten to raise prices. However, because Measure 97 taxes less than 1% of all businesses selling in Oregon, competition will keep prices down. As an economist, that's why I know Measure 97 will make large corporations, not consumers, paid to fund education, healthcare, and senior services. Check the facts. Measure 97 works for Oregon.
At Bi-Mart, we understand the importance of value and savings to you, our membership family. Every Thursday, we invite you to check out our latest savings posted at bimart.com. This week's insert has the everyday essentials your family needs from the brand names you know and trust. Save now on snack-sized bagged Halloween candy, Lady Alberta sliced peaches, Campbell's soup, and so much more. New savings start every Thursday and are posted at bimart.com. Get ready for your season for less at Bi-Mart.
If playtime keeps turning into nap time, Sleep Train has your ticket to a better night's sleep with the best rest sale. Through Columbus Day, save hundreds on Beauty Rest and Posturepedic. Get up to 5 years interest-free financing on our best-selling Tempur-Pedic and Beautyrest Black mattress sets. Even get $200 in bonus cash when you add a movable base. But this special financing offer ends Columbus Day at Sleep Train.
You've just realized that your daughter is better at math than you.
Thank you very much.
Well, at least you have our seasonal pumpkin spice pancakes and new apple ring pancakes. And someone to help you figure out the tip. IHOP. Eat up every moment.
You don't put lighter fluid on a guy's grill, do you? He's about to set himself on fire.
Freaky fast. Jimmy John's.
Welcome back. It's 15 minutes past the hour, and Hurricane Matthew is now beginning to strike the Florida coast. We spoke with people who are witnessing the conditions firsthand. One man tells us he's lived in his house in Florida for 20 years, and he's expecting ever seen. The storm is affecting people all over the state, and nearly 4,000 flights have been canceled, and some Bend residents are there by choice. Red Cross volunteers David Mormon and his wife are assigned to help at middle and elementary schools now turned into shelters.
I think between the two shelters, we must probably be getting close to about 1,200 people. I think we have about between 500 and 600 clients in each.
As of this morning, Matthew brushed by Cape Canaveral, producing 115-mile-per-hour wind gusts. An estimated 19 million people will be affected by the storm, and its slow movement could mean more devastation for the Florida coast. We will keep you updated throughout the show as the storm develops. While thousands flee the coastlines, where do they go? Inland, of course, and for the state of South Carolina, that means taking a trip to the state's capital, Columbia. There has been a steady stream of people heading into the city, and it just so happens former News Channel 21 producer Grace Joyle is a reporter there, and we talked to her about how people are getting away from the coast. And it seems the governor has taken an unusual step.
And so the whole highway is westbound now between Charleston and Columbia. And in fact, those reverse lanes that are usually eastbound lanes, if you drive on that side, you can't stop until you get to Columbia. You have to make sure you have enough gas.
Now, Grace told us as of yesterday, more than 175,000 people had left the South Carolina coast. The storm could hit Charleston early tomorrow morning. And as this hurricane makes its way up the coast, reporters are doing their best to cover it despite the major wind and rain. So let's get out to Seychelle Saunders with more. Seychelle, how's it going out there?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. You can see what's happening right now. I'm holding myself up against the wall as the water and wind comes in from the ocean. We've lost, I can't see you because of this bright light. We've lost almost all the signs here. 2 of them are falling, the other 2 have fallen. Surprisingly, there are still lights. Surprisingly, I haven't seen any lights go out anywhere. Hard to imagine with winds like this that we haven't lost power anywhere. Very strong. There a lot of rain. I don't even know if it's rain at this point or if it's just coming from the ocean water. But definitely not something that you would want to be driving in or being in. As soon as I go onto the other side of the wall, I know sometimes people are concerned about us and our safety as well. As soon as I go to the other side of this wall, then I'm safe from the wind. So I'm doing this just to show you what it's like. I'm not sure what the miles per hour are, but enough that if I wasn't standing in this way, that it would kick me over. I'm going to send it back to you guys. If you have, I'm going to send it back to you.
Seychelle, thank you, and please stay safe out there. It's 18 minutes past the hour, and coming up, we take a look at your health headlines. Don't go away. News Channel 21 will be back in 90 seconds.
The campaign to defeat Measure 97 wants you to think it's made up of folks like me. The truth is, it's big corporations like Wells Fargo and Monsanto. They'll do anything to make more money, like spending millions to muddle the facts. You and I know if corporations could charge more, they would, but they would lose customers. Big corporations are trying to kill 97 because it'll cost them, but it'll fund better schools and health care. Measure 97 makes sense for Oregon.
The Beaver Showroom is now home to a beautiful television celebrity. It's the show-stopping Cornerstone by Integra Coach. It's been featured on the Travel Channel's Extreme RVs because it's extremely awesome. It's the quietest riding, best handling coach on the market today, period. Living in a Cornerstone is living in luxury. Everything you see here and most of what you don't puts the Cornerstone in a class by itself. Come see for yourself. Visit the Beaver RV Supercenter, Boyd Acres Road, Bend.
Hi, I'm Travis Smith, second generation owner of Sky Heating and Air Conditioning, and we've been serving Oregon since 1979. As your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer, we offer a 365-day money-back guarantee, followed by some of the best industry and special.
Sky Heating can take care of all your heating and air conditioning, from gas furnaces to ground source heat pumps, mini splits, and more.
The next time you look up, think Sky Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit us online at skyheating.com.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Malink. It's 20 minutes past the hour. Central Oregon Radiology held a groundbreaking ceremony for their new Southside location. The facility will provide full MRIs, ultrasounds, and 3D mammograms. This is the third such center in Bend, and this one will serve people living on the South Side. It was born from a partnership between St. Charles Health System and Central Oregon Radiology. CEO Barry Nielsen said he thinks imaging is going to be even more important in the future.
South Bend really doesn't have any kind of imaging presence, and this is the first imaging presence that South Bend will have. The biggest thing is women's imaging. Women's imaging should have a presence here. It should be easy for women to travel to get imaging done easily.
Nielsen said this new Central Oregon Radiology Center hopes to be open by May of 2017. Most kids in the U.S. are vaccinated against dangerous diseases, but there's still room for improvement. New data from the CDC shows vaccination rates for kids from a year and a half to nearly 3 years old remained stable last year. However, there are slightly lower vaccination rates for children during that second year of life versus the first year, and lower rates among children living in poverty or from rural areas. Last year, about 2% of kindergarten students were not fully vaccinated nor legally exempt from vaccines. Doctors gathered in the nation's capital to discuss updated guidelines for stroke rehabilitation. People who have a stroke often survive but can be left with major disabilities, making rehabilitation extremely important. Whenever possible, experts suggest patients go to an inpatient rehabilitation unit. These units tend to offer more intensive speech, physical, and occupational therapy. It's estimated that up to 40% of stroke survivors develop some form of depression, a condition, according to doctors, that can and should be treated.
That in fact, I think many people are not treated or undertreated. I've seen many patients who are put on an antidepressant, don't respond, and then that's it. Well, I treated them, and that's not really adequate. We need to be more on top of that, and I think there's a big opportunity to improve practice in that area as well.
The Stroke Association also says patients should not be discharged without going through a program about how to prevent falls. Good news on life expectancy. A new report looking at global health reveals some major progress but continuing challenges. Data from more than 1,800 scientists in over 120 countries shows life expectancy increased from 62 years old in 1980 to 72 in 2015. This is in large part thanks to improvements in sanitation, pollution, and immunizations. However, these gains are threatened by obesity-related disease and substance abuse, which has skyrocketed over the same period. An 8-year-old boy was given a special day, a day to forget about his cancer. Service members at Joint Base Andrews in Maryland let Kwame Penty be a pilot for the day. The brave young man has a rare brain tumor, but yesterday he got a break from chemotherapy. Penty was escorted on base in a Humvee and given a welcome ceremony where he was sworn in. He also had his own wingman for the day, and it seemed like he loved every minute of it.
It's thrilling, exciting, most spectacular thing I ever done. I feel special because these people made it happen. My dad and my sister and my mom made this all happen, and I couldn't have done it without them all.
To see his courage and
and how he handles his situation, and how he never puts on a sad face. Certainly never in front of me. It's just a magical experience.
Kwame also got to try his hand at flying a helicopter in a simulator. The experience was arranged and paid for by the Check 6 Foundation, which helps terminally ill children. It's 24 minutes past the hour, and coming up, one boy wants to be a pilot, another boy has a different dream. We'll tell you exactly what it is in just a bit, but first let's get over to Bob Shaw for a check of our weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Well, this is the current view of Hurricane Andrew. Andrew was in 1992. This is Matthew this morning, and it is pounding the Florida coast. We'll give you some updates on that right after the break, as well as a look at our local weather. 25 minutes before the hour. We'll be right back.
The qualifications that you need to be a caregiver for Home Instead Senior Care is that you need to have a heart for seniors. We're going to provide you with the training and the skills that you need to accomplish that. If you want to find out more about becoming a caregiver, just go to homeinsteadbend.com and click on the Become a Caregiver link. If you have a heart for seniors, you'll be a wonderful caregiver.
I'm Ron Wyden, and I approve this message.
This IPA is amazing.
Pure Oregon goodness.
All local?
Even the leftover grain is given to local farmers for feed.
No waste.
That's why when the FDA tried to stop breweries from giving farmers the grain, Ron Wyden was like,
hey, you're regulating a problem that doesn't exist, my friend. The FDA was all, you're right.
no need to end a good thing.
Good save.
Hey, I know when it's time for a federal agency to sober up.
The daughter of a teacher in City Center, Jenna Goodman Campbell is a third-generation Oregonian. She has spent her career bringing business and community together to protect the land, water, and wildlife for future generations.
I'm Jenna Goodman Campbell, and I'm running for state representative to level the playing field so our economy and our government work for small businesses and hard-working families, not just big corporations and the wealthy. I'll work to make college more affordable, fix the skyrocketing cost of housing, and close tax loopholes for out-of-state corporations.
It's about time. Your time. Introducing News Channel 21 at 7. A local newscast that's on when you need it. News Channel 21 at 7. Weekdays at 7 on NBC. Decision 2016. From now through November. Live and up-to-the-minute coverage on TV and online at ktvz.com. News Channel 21. Your hub for election coverage.
Welcome back. It's 27 minutes past the hour and a dream come true for a little boy living with terminal cancer. He loves firefighters.
I love this story.
So cute.
As Rondella Richardson shows us, the firefighters in Chelsea, Massachusetts made him one of their very own for just one day.
8 years old and outfitted with a uniform. This is a special call to duty.
It's really shocking just to see a firefighter car just in the front of my house, like, what?
Riley Sostre has been rushed from home before when he has massive seizures and stops breathing. He has chemo often because he has terminal brainstem cancer. Today, a good adrenaline rush and emergency ride.
Hey guys, this is Riley.
Meet the first third grader to be sworn in as a Chelsea firefighter.
I,
Riley,
do solemnly swear.
I can't imagine what he and his family are going through. It's, it really puts things in perspective for you.
Pull back. There you go.
Oh, the joy of this. The oldest of 4 siblings, Riley wishes he could hose down his sisters.
I want to come there with them and just spray them.
At the surprise pizza party, Riley compared the rigors of working the hose to his regular day.
I play video games, my hands get tired.
You play Madden, NFL football?
Toys on the engine, worthy of taking home.
Maybe if you're nice, the chief will give you one. I don't know. You could ask him.
I'm a very nice boy.
There you go.
Riley's family so appreciated today. They worry about his every tomorrow.
We notice the color of the sky. We notice the people walking by. So we're treasuring every memory with him.
They're like part of my family now. This is more fun than I ever had.
I was just saying, all of our cute stories this morning are really messing with my emotions.
Oh, I know. Two little guys that get like these amazing wishes.
I know.
Because of some real hard struggles they're facing.
And I feel like in these moments they just forget that they're sick and they just get to enjoy their dream come true.
I know.
And it's so great that all these, firefighters and pilots and stuff are helping them out.
I know. It's good.
Just
good
a little
stuff.
too sweet for my liking. 29 minutes past the hour. We're going to take a quick break. We're back right after this.
It's Truck Month at Robertson Ford.
In Central Oregon, we drive Ford trucks. Ford is first in towing, first in payload, first in work.
Robertson Ford is first in volume, price, and selection. Now is the time to drive a Ford truck and experience the award-winning service at Robertson Ford.
Find yours today at Robertson Ford in Bend, Prineville, and Robertson.com.
Planning for retirement? You need a trusted advisor to guide you through this tricky financial landscape. At Elevation Capital Strategies, we look at what your specific needs are, what you hope to do, and what you'd like to give in order to develop a plan to continue to receive income throughout retirement and beyond. Our focus has always been to help people take a lifetime of working, saving, investing, and planning and make it work for the next stage of life. To find out how we can help, visit elevationcapitalstrategies.com.
The next time you look up, think Sky Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit us online at skyheating.com.
Now, from Central Oregon's news leader, this is News Channel 21 at Sunrise.
Good morning and a very happy Friday to you all. I'm Samantha O'Connor.
And I am Bob Shaw. Seventh day of October, 29 minutes before the hour. Not a bad morning here, but my gosh, the people in Florida are just getting pounded this morning.
And a lot of people are evacuating, but it seams reporters are doing the exact opposite. We've had some pretty incredible live shots.
You and I have kind of chuckled about this. Seychelles and some of those others are we're kind of nutty.
A little nutty.
Everybody's going that way and we're going.
Yeah, no one's allowed to be here, but we're here.
That's right.
And I mean, all respect to them, I guess.
Oh,
but
I do
just
too.
Stay safe.
Exactly. Let's take a look at what we're facing here. Light and scattered showers. We really haven't seen too much of that this morning. The chance will exist all through the morning hours. Upper 40s to low 50s to get things going. Not a bad morning. Some sign of clouds breaking a little bit here on the high desert, but this thing's not entirely done with us just yet. At the Bend Airport, the southwesterly winds have been fairly brisk all morning, so just be prepared for that. We have a lot of thunderstorm activity moving through the Central Valley right now. Corvallis getting pounded with this. Salem has seen some of it. Eugene is going to get a taste. Portland saw it almost all night long. And some of this gets around the southern tip of the Cascades and works its way into Central Oregon over the course of the morning hours. Then it starts to taper off. 54 at both of our airports this morning, and we're looking at a day that'll take us into the mid to upper 60s. I'll have more on all of this for you in a moment. Sam, back to you.
Bob, thank you. Hurricane Matthew has already killed hundreds of people in the Caribbean and prompted officials to urge evacuations for upwards of 2 million people in the southeastern U.S. The first state to feel Matthew's impact, Florida. Reed Binney reports.
We're already starting to see the impacts, and it's a monster.
Hurricane Matthew driving not only wind and rain, but also a new level of fear in a region accustomed to hurricanes. The storm battering Florida well into Friday morning. Officials reporting widespread power outages as Matthew's outer bands hammered the coast. Cars cramming roads and a highway exodus as many residents evacuated. Some in the state waiting until the last minute to leave.
I've never seen the ocean before on this side of the country, so I figured at first you want to see it for the first time, why not do it in a hurricane?
Are you going to get out of here soon?
Of course, of course.
Others choosing to stay.
We're prepared for it. We're going to hunker down and stay with it and do what we got to do.
This despite dire warnings from Florida Governor Rick Scott.
You know, you always rebuild things, but I'm worried about your life, your family. Evacuate, evacuate, evacuate.
Scott adding that Matthew could bring devastation on a level not seen since Hurricane Andrew struck nearly a quarter century ago. Forecasters also expressing a very high level of concern. The National Weather Service warning that some locations may be uninhabitable for weeks or months. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And as residents in the southeast brace for the hurricane's impact, people living in the island nation of Haiti have already started cleaning up. Lauren Malink joins us now with more. Lauren.
Sam, new pictures and video from Haiti show the destruction and devastation from Hurricane Matthew. Over 260 people were killed in the storm, and that number is expected to rise. A United Nations official in Haiti says Hurricane Matthew is the country's worst humanitarian disaster since the earthquake in 2010. Southern Haiti was hit especially hard, where winds of 125 miles per hour destroyed homes and flooded villages. Making matters even worse, the southern part of Haiti is now all but cut off from humanitarian aid because of a collapsed bridge. Yesterday, United Nations peacekeepers did arrive on the island to help with the cleanup process. Sam, back to you.
Lauren, thanks. And Hurricane Matthew will not affect Florida's voter registration deadline. Hillary Clinton's campaign asked Republican Governor Rick Scott to extend the October 11th deadline because of the storm, but Scott said no.
I'm not going to extend it. If you whether it's the registration date, everybody has had a lot of time to register. So on top of that, we've got lots of opportunities to vote, early voting, absentee voting, and election day. So I don't intend to make any changes.
Professor Rick Hasten at the University of California, Irvine says Scott's decision could potentially lead to lawsuits. He also said absentee ballots that were mailed won't be made available for some displaced Floridians, which could cause some problems as well. And in case you were wondering what the voter registration deadline is here in Oregon, it's October 18th. That's by mail, in person, and online. In order to register, you'll need an Oregon driver's license or ID card, and you'll need to live in an Oregon address by October 18th. You can check to see if you were registered to vote by heading to the website secure.sos.state.or.us. And the next presidential debate takes place this Sunday. You can see the debate at 6 p.m. on our Fox station. We will not have the debate live on NBC because of NFL Sunday Night Football. Instead, the debate will air right after the game here on NBC. A sister's bookkeeper who embezzled hundreds of thousands of dollars from her employer was unable to come up with restitution, so now she'll pay with 4 years behind bars. 62-year-old Cheryl Ann Waldron was arrested in March on 27 theft, ID theft, and forgery accounts. She siphoned off $430,000 from Robinson and Owen Heavy Construction. She pleaded guilty in August and was told she'd only face 2 years in prison if she could pay about half the money back to the victims. But she could not come up with it, so Judge Beth Bagley sentenced her to 4 years in prison. Following our Deschutes County Sheriff's debate, we want to ask you, if the election were today, who would you vote for? Sheriff Shane Nelson or Deputy Eric Kozowski? You can weigh in on our online poll at ktvz.com, and you can find it halfway down the right-hand side of our homepage. 24 minutes before the hour, and the Bend Film Fest has officially begun, and the fun continues for the next 3 days. 7 different venues host 2 films ranging from feature to documentaries and shorts. This is the 13th year, and it's getting more attention than ever. Tickets are selling out fast, but event organizers say there are still a few ways you can get in.
And one Old Stone Performing Arts venue is already sold out of advance sale tickets. And I say that, I keep saying advance sale tickets, because there are always seats left over. We do allow people to have some sort of spontaneity factor where they can just show up, and if you show up at the venue early and you're early in line, odds are you'll get in.
Tickets available, and if you want to get them, you can always head down to the festival's headquarters right next to the Tower Theater in downtown Bend, and you can go to bendfilm.org to order tickets and check the schedule. Coming up, a look at headlines happening around the world as a major warning made for the Syrian city of Aleppo. But first, let's get over to Bob Shaw for a quick check of our forecast. Good morning, Bob.
Thank you, Sam. Our average high for the state, 68 degrees. That's about where we're headed. Average overnight lows, though, down near freezing, and we have been much warmer than that. Sunrise today at 7:10, sunset at 6:33. That chance of showers that we see this morning is going to taper off gradually through the course of the day, and it'll leave us under mostly cloudy skies going into tonight. I'll have more on this in a moment. Stay with us.
We've been together as long as Patty and I. You learn compromise isn't a dirty word. My way or the highway doesn't work in marriage, and it doesn't work in Salem either. It's why I found common ground to expand access to birth control and replace coal with cleaner energy. My name is Newt Bueller, and I'm Patty's husband. When I'm not at home, I'm working across party lines to get things done. It's what Bend expects and Oregon needs.
When it comes to fire protection for your home or business, you absolutely want the best available. So go with the big dog in fire protection, Absolute Fire Protection. But Absolute does much more than just sprinklers and suppression systems. They also clean restaurant exhaust hoods, perform annual backflow testing for homes and businesses. Absolute can even set up a custom fire suppression system for a vehicle. They do it all. So give them a call. Absolute Fire Protection.
Hi, Principal Rooney. How's it going? So that big ponderosa fell and landed on your living room, your chimney, your garage, both of your cars, your pontoon boat, your neighbor's basketball hoop, and the cougar that's been prowling the community. Don't worry, Ed. That's why you have insurance.
When things are at their worst, we're at our best. Century Insurance.
Is there anything the tree didn't land on? Your woodpile.
News Channel 21 at 7. Weekdays at 7. NBC. Now, Central Oregon's local alert weather with Chief Meteorologist Bob Shaw.
20 minutes before the hour now on this Friday morning, and kind of an interesting fact about a cyclone. Anytime you see a twist in a storm like this, it's called cyclonic activity. And if you divide a cyclone into quadrants by a vertical line that goes through the eye and a horizontal line that does the same, now you have 4 different squares. The northwestern square, or the northwestern quadrant of a storm that you divide like this is generally the strongest portion of the storm. You can see the southwestern quadrant and the southeastern quadrants are a little bit weaker. It picks up some strength coming in off the ocean, and the northeastern quadrant is a little stronger. Greatest storm activity and the hardest hitting part of that storm is that northwestern quadrant, and that quadrant right now is working its way right up the coastline and slamming all that wind and rain into the coast of Florida this morning. 120-mile-an-hour winds. It's only 9 miles an hour away from being a Category 4 hurricane, so it's Cat 3 right now, and it is one very powerful storm. Here in the Northwest, we've had a little bit of storm activity move through our area. Most of the heavy storms are off in the eastern portion of Washington. Overnight, Portland saw a lot of thunderstorm activity, and now Central Valley's getting hit with all of this. It's running itself right up against the western slope of the Cascades, and that cuts off a lot of this. Western portions of Jefferson County getting some rain right up against the east slope of the Cascades. A lot of this is going to work its way through the central portion of Central Oregon. Most of it will be in the form of clouds. The western portion of the storm will get rained out for the most part. We'll get a slight chance of some scattered showers through the morning hours, and that'll start to break up later. Mid-40s to mid-50s right now across the high desert. Winds have picked up a little bit. Now that that front is working its way over, you can see how our winds are starting to escalate. Bend Airport winds have been gradually increasing this morning, and they're getting a little bit stronger as we speak. This is how our hourly forecast has this working through today. By the time we get into the afternoon, you'll start to see this thing weaken and break up a little bit. Central Oregon, we get some isolated showers. Pockets of those have the potential to be a little bit heavier, and most of that will be like over the Ochicos and some of the taller buttes to our south. Then as we go into tonight, this will all start to break up, and we'll then be looking for a pretty fair weekend. Mid to upper 60s for most today. It'll be a struggle, but we might see a couple of spots hit that 70-degree mark. 69 in Prineville, mid to upper 60s through Deschutes County with plenty of rain. Not a ton of wind out of this, so that'll be real windy along the coast, but here we're not going to see a great deal of wind at all. For your extended forecast, gorgeous going into the weekend. Beauty clouds a bunch, partly cloudy on Saturday, mostly sunny on Sunday, mid to upper 70s. Yeah, we turn the corner a little bit going into next week. Pretty fair Monday and Tuesday, but we'll see another cool, drizzly system work its way in and stay with us right through the middle of the week. Well, that is your local alert weather forecast, 17 minutes before the hour. Here's Matt Lauer with a look at what's coming up on the Today Show. Matt?
Good morning. Coming up on a Friday here on Today, we will have complete coverage of Hurricane Matthew as it rakes the Florida coast. A major concern now is the storm surge and fears of massive flooding. Hundreds of thousands already without power. Our team is spread across the storm zone, and we'll have the very latest on the all-important path as we get started in just a couple of minutes on a Friday edition of Today.
Cherish time with family and friends. Spend your days doing the things you love. Honor treasured memories and create new ones every day. This isn't senior living the way you thought it would be. This is senior living the way it should be. With passion and vitality. The Summit Retirement and Assisted Living Community, bringing independence to living and quality to life. Call today to schedule a free tour.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Whatever the season, no matter the reason, it's Super Plumber to the rescue. The Super Service Plumbers from Sunset Plumbing.
At the League, our mission is to carefully study the issues and educate voters in a nonpartisan way. We believe Measure 97 is the best way to invest in Oregon families. 97 requires corporations with more than $25 million in Oregon sales to pay more and dedicates funding to education, healthcare, and senior services. Nonpartisan groups across Oregon are supporting Measure 97. We urge voters to do the same.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall. Whatever the season, no matter the reason, it's Super Plumber to the rescue. The Super Service Plumbers from Sunset Plumbing.
From sunrise to sunset, the News Channel 21 team takes pride in delivering you the news. Wake up to our live local coverage at 5 a.m. and end your day with the news at 11 p.m. News Channel 21, Central Oregon's news leader.
This morning, wake up to Today, live up and down the coast of Florida as Hurricane Matthew hits.
This isn't just about as bad as a scenario as you can see.
See how communities have been impacted and where this historic storm is headed next. This morning.
Furry Friends, brought to you by Central Oregon Ranch Supply.
14 minutes before the hour, and Friday morning, always one of our favorites because Jen from Brightside gets in here, and she has been bringing us of the cutest little animals, and this little guy is no exception. This is Tiny Tim.
Are you looking at Tiny Tim?
Oh, yeah, he sees himself in the monitor.
That's too funny. Over here.
Yeah, there you go. Show your mug up there. Now, he's only about a year old.
Yep.
And this cute little guy came in as a stray, you
said. He
did,
yes. I mean, more often than not, we get some of the cutest, most well-behaved animals that come in as strays, you know, just due to life changes, things like that, or, you know, people just can't afford to keep animals anymore.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, it's a shame that he got wandered off, but it's good that he's here. And now he's not quite ready to go. Give me a little bit of an idea of the procedure for adopting one of these guys.
So most of the time we don't put animals available until they're spayed and neutered, ready to go home. But in the case of really highly adoptable animals, even if they're not spayed or neutered, we'll let people come and meet them, bring their own pets in to meet them, make sure everybody gets along. Then he can go home as soon as he is neutered, which should happen early next week.
Okay, very good. Now, getting into the colder season here, now the shelter is facing a few needs. Tell me about that.
So right now, you know, people are a little bit more in demand of dog and cat food for our community. People that, you know, are low on funds, things like that, just need a little bit of extra help. We offer that once every 3 months per person in the family. And so we have been going through quite a bit lately. So any open bags of animal food that your animals just don't like, or, you know, anything that you just want to donate, we will gladly accept. Along with dog coats right now, we figure we might as well get a head start on it since we are seeing some colder nights lately.
So the food donations are not just for the animals that are in the shelter already. These are contributions that go to people that may be suffering a little need. Their pets need some help.
Yep. So we have our animals in the shelter covered. We feed Science Diet there to all of the animals, but we are always looking for donations of any kind.
Outstanding. If you'd like to help out Jen and her staff at Brightside Animal Center, 923-0882. And I don't think Tiny Tim is going to last more than 2 minutes today. Somebody's going to give this little guy a home. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Get the best products for your dog or cat at Central Oregon Ranch Supply. Save 15% on all pet food and supplies every week during Dog Days Tuesdays.
Central Oregon Ranch Supply.
Get the best nutritionally certified feed from Central Oregon Ranch Supply. Save 15% on all bird feed and wildlife blocks every week during Fur and Feather Fridays.
Central Oregon Ranch Supply.
Promoters of Measure 97's tax on sales claim Oregon is last in corporate taxes. But that's simply not true. In fact, Oregon's corporate taxes are near the middle of the pack, and 97 is not a corporate income tax. It would tax sales, not profits, giving Oregon the equivalent of a 39% tax on net income, the highest in the country. And those costs would be passed on to consumers through higher prices for almost everything. Check the facts and vote no on 97's costly tax on sales.
Find comfort in this world in a stressless with a calm and relaxing special offer from Wilson's. For a limited time, you can earn up to $1,500 to use towards additional stressless recliners, sofas, or accessories with any qualifying purchase. A stressless is your place, a place to relax, a place to unwind. The most comfortable seating in the world is now more comfortable than ever at locally owned Wilson's of Redmond and Wilson's Mattress Gallery, Bend.
It's 10 minutes before the hour. Aerial video from Cuba reveals the scale of devastation from Hurricane Matthew. It's only been a few days since the storm tore across the country, but the extreme damage is coming into full focus. Video shows a collapsed bridge over a swollen river and serious damage to homes, many without roofs. Some Cubans are angry, saying they're not receiving any government help to clean the streets and rebuild their homes. No deaths have been reported in the country, but hundreds are reported dead in nearby Haiti. The UN has made a dire announcement about the war-ravaged city of Aleppo. Rebel-held districts in Aleppo have suffered intense aerial bombardment by Syrian and Russian warplanes for more than a week. And yesterday, the UN said that at least 376 people had been killed in the past 2 weeks. The UN Special Envoy for Syria warned that if attacks continue at the current rate, Aleppo may be totally destroyed.
The city of eastern Aleppo, at this rate, may be totally destroyed. We're talking about old city in particular. And thousands of Syrian civilians, not terrorists, will be killed.
The Syrian civil war has been going on for more than 5 years. During this time, an estimated 220,000 people have been killed. A unique decoration on the Manhattan Bridge. Someone hung a huge banner of Vladimir Putin with the words "Peacemaker." It was draped on the Brooklyn side of the bridge. The NYPD's emergency service unit removed the 20 by 30 foot banner shortly after people called 911 to report it. Officers are looking at surveillance video on and around the bridge to find out whoever is responsible. There have been no arrests yet. It's 9 minutes before the hour, and coming up, we've got a wrap up of all your headlines here in Central Oregon and across the country. But before that, let's get over to Bob Shaw for a check of our weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Lauren. One more look at Hurricane Matthew this morning. 120-mile-an-hour winds. It's moving north-northwest up the Florida coast at 13 miles an hour. A lot of people from Daytona Beach all the way up through the coastal areas of Georgia and South Carolina bracing for the strongest part of that storm. Central Oregon, we may get a sprinkle or two through the morning hours, but a lot of this is going to subside through the course of the day. For the day ahead, we're topping out in the mid to upper 60s, and it looks like we'll get a little bit of a breeze out of this as well. This will start to break up later in the day, and we'll be in good shape going into the weekend. I'll show you that extended forecast here in just a few minutes. It is now 8 minutes before the hour on this Friday morning. Have a sparkling day in Central Oregon.
At Papa Murphy's, love means using only chicken raised without antibiotics. Tonight, home bake a large herb chicken Mediterranean with grilled chicken, fresh spinach, and sun-dried tomatoes. And share the love. Just $7 when you order at papamurphys.com.
Through Columbus Day at Sleep Train, save hundreds on Beauty Rest and Posturepedic. Get up to 5 years interest-free financing on our best-selling Tempur-Pedic and Beauty Rest Black mattress sets. But this special financing offer ends Columbus Day at Sleep Train.
I've studied corporate behavior for years. Every time corporations are asked to pay more in taxes, their standard response is to threaten to raise prices. However, because Measure 97 taxes less than 1% of all businesses selling in Oregon, competition will keep prices down. As an economist, that's why I know Measure 97 will make large corporations, not consumers, paid to fund education, healthcare, and senior services. Check the facts. Measure 97 works for Oregon.
News Channel 21 is brought to you in part by Papa Murphy's.
Welcome back. It's 7 minutes before the hour and Hurricane Matthew has arrived. Check out these images from the International Space Station. As of 11 p.m. last night, the eye of the hurricane was 125 miles southeast of Cape Canaveral, Florida, with top sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. The first band of rain from the storm arrived in the Sunshine State last night, and it may make landfall early today. 2 million people along the East Coast were warned to evacuate, and nearly 4,000 flights have been canceled. And one area hit particularly hard overnight is Titusville, Florida. That's east of Orlando. And that's where NBC's Gotti Schwartz has been following Hurricane Matthew. Check it out.
Yeah, here in Titusville, the winds are definitely picking up. You're starting to see debris here on the roads. A lot of these are palm fronds, so we're not going to go any further just because we've seen palm fronds blowing off, and they're very, very heavy right now. It's hard to see, but over here there's a marina. There are a lot of different boats that are getting battered right now by this storm. And just down the road, there is a mobile home park. Down this road, there is a senior citizens home that has been evacuated. About 100 senior citizens have been taken to, we believe, Orlando. But right now, these conditions, as you can see, are getting much more hairy. So we're going to fall back a little bit. We're going to have an update in just a bit.
Gotti, thank you. Well, here in Oregon, tense moments at a music concert in downtown Portland last night after someone fired off a gun at the Roseland Theater. Witnesses say the rap artist The Game was performing when a fight broke out and someone pulled out a gun and fired a shot. No one was hit and the bullet became lodged in the stage. The concert was canceled as police were called in to investigate. Governor Kate Brown told her Republican challenger, Dr. Bud Pierce, that she appreciated his apology for domestic violence remarks that he made just last week. During a debate in Eugene, Governor Brown said Pierce took, quote, full responsibility and ownership for saying successful women aren't as susceptible to domestic abuse as those with less money. The comment came after the governor had revealed she was a domestic violence victim herself. It's now 4 minutes before the hour and you're watching News Channel 21 at sunrise. A final look at your local forecast is coming up next. Stay with us.
We've been here since 2012. As if running a small business isn't tough enough, turns out I'm paying a higher tax rate than large out-of-state corporations like Comcast. They pay almost nothing in Oregon. Measure 97 makes corporations pay their fair share for schools and healthcare. 97 levels the playing field, protecting small businesses like mine from tax increases. I pay my share. It's time big corporations do their part too. I'm an Oregon business owner, and I'm voting yes on Measure 97.
Why have the latest smartphone if you can't use it wherever you go? Switch to U.S. Cellular for our best plan yet. 7 gigs of data per line for only $49. To share more photos at your cabin. Or video chat at your secret fishing spot. All for just $49. The best part? We put towers in places the other guys don't. Because U.S. Cellular thinks you deserve a signal that works wherever you are. Switch to U.S. Cellular and get a whopping 7 gigs of data per line for only $49.
Running makes me feel good and kind of proud.
We recognize the need for more opportunities for kids to be physically active, and Run Club was born to fill that need. Getting kids started in positive, fun exercise programs, we can instill that fitness for life. We're serving every kid in the school. We're collaborating with St. Charles to make our community a little bit healthier.
Invite a new furry friend into your home. Join News Channel 21 and Brightside Animal Center every Friday morning between 6 and 7 a.m. on KTVZ and between 8 and 9 a.m. on KFXO. Brought to you by Central Oregon Ranch Supply and News Channel 21.
This morning, wake up to today, live up and down the coast of Florida as Hurricane Matthew hits.
This isn't just about as bad as a scenario as you can see.
See how communities have been impacted and where this historic storm is headed next. This morning.
A very happy 8th birthday this morning to Lillian, the sweetest girl around. Well, love that smile. Love Mom, Dad, Landon, and Persephone.
And a happy 2nd birthday to Calvin this morning. Look at you. We are so glad you're here to make us smile and laugh. A lot of love always from Mama, Dada, Abby, and Drea?
I'd go with Drea.
Drea. Okay, cool. Well, happy birthday. And if you'd like to share a birthday with us, you can submit your birthday message by clicking the community tab on our homepage. That is ktvz.com. Please do that 1 week in advance.
Well, this is our morning here on the high desert. It's actually a beautiful morning. We are under mostly cloudy skies, and it looks like we'll stay that way for much of our day. The nice thing that'll improve here is we're going to shake off the chance of showers by early afternoon. Our best chance of showers has not arrived just yet. It'll come through the morning hours here as storm activity works out of the valley and a little bit into central Oregon. Mid-40s to mid-50s to get things underway. We're headed for the mid to upper 60s. So we'll be at average today if we hit that 68 degrees. Look at the weekend. I will say no more. It's going to be gorgeous. Get out and enjoy it because we wind up with cool, drizzly conditions into the middle of next week again.
Yeah, no complaints about that weekend.
No,
perfect
none.
timing, Mother Nature.
I know.
Gosh, 78 degrees, that's only going to be a little hot. People are going to be sweating, getting a sunburn.
I know, it's going to feel very good. Get out and enjoy it.
Yeah, have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you back here on Monday.
Good morning. Breaking news. Hurricane Matthew slamming Florida's east coast right now as a major Category 3. The strongest storm to hit that state in a decade. Wind gusts up to 150 miles per hour. Power knocked out to hundreds of thousands. A Sandy-like storm surge expected. Airports, schools, famed theme parks all shut down. Today, Friday, October 2016.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Hurricane Matthew, with Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie, live from